Hi. A question I have just received from one of the teachers, a Suzuki teacher, piano teacher. And the question refers to a student A. So student A is at Book 2 Suzuki Piano School. And a friend of hers or a girl that she knows is also playing in the same studio with the same teacher. Let's call the other student B. So student B is working diligently and practices 1 hour a day or maybe even more, and naturally develops and progresses in a good pace, and she's already able to play Book 3 pieces and plays them well, diligently, paying attention to the work and so forth. Now, student A, which is not practicing as diligently as student B, is feeling pressured, or maybe I can say clearly in competition with student B, and she wants to play especially in performance and concerts, she wants to play also advanced pieces in Book 3. So she starts learning pieces of Book 3, and while her teacher feels that she's not ready. And the question of the teacher was how to relate to it, what to do. It's a very general question and a very common question that many teachers ask me. To be more specific or to help a specific case, it will be good to know the people in the question, to know the ability, musical ability, physical ability, psychological ability of a child, ages and so on. Because I don't have these details, I will actually give a more general answer to this question, and I'm always open to hear more specific points to be able to address them, maybe with more specific details. Generally speaking, when I have students coming and wanting to play pieces that are not ready, and I can see that when I tell them that they are not ready, they might not get the message, I cannot ban them from learning the new pieces. And this refers to a student at every book. It can be a student in Book 1 that is trying to learn more advanced pieces in Book 1 while the student is still at the beginning. And it can be a student in Book 7 that tries to play something which physically and musically he is not up to the job yet. So the general treatment of this will be, if the student really wants to show me the new piece, I will listen to it, and I might even say a word or two, not feedback, not musical feedback, but I'll say something about the effort and the maybe enthusiasm that the child has put in order to learn. I might even acknowledge and say, I can really see that you want to play the more advanced pieces, and I can understand you, and it will all come in the right time. And after listening and not going out of my way with, wow, you've learned a new piece and so on, just acknowledging, nodding, I will go and do the pieces which the child can work on. So if I go back to this question, the initial question of today, if this is Book 2 student and this is what she can play pieces in Book 2, I might listen if she wants. I might listen to the piece in Book 3. I will not work with her on the book or Book 3 pieces. I will go back. I will not call it back in front of the student, but I'll go and continue working on the pieces and the standard that the student is currently at. This is the best way I can serve the student. And if questions come from the student or from the parents saying, but my daughter wants to learn pieces from Book 3, why wouldn't you teach her? I will remind the parent and the student that the one of the advantages, only one of them, there are so many more. One of the advantages of Suzuki method is that I do not need to teach a child a new piece. With adequate listening and the good supervision of parents, a child learns new repertoire by him or herself. So that's not my job to teach new pieces. That's not the best usage of the money that we Suzuki teachers are being paid. And I'm always working with the child on where the child is and what the child is needing. So good luck to you, the teacher who asked me this question, what to do. You cannot, let me just add one more word. You cannot prevent a child from feeling this kind of competition. I don't know if the competition is the best word to describe it. You cannot prevent this sense of I want to be as good as my friend. I want to play as advanced pieces as my friend. You cannot actually change it. You cannot compete with it, and you have to allow it. And you have to allow it. Maybe not encourage it. But I guess it's there without your encouragement. But at the same time, you cannot ignore it. You cannot say, I will try to cover up and to compensate by doing other things. I don't think this is a good idea, because we know how children at all ages can feel our messages and can feel what we think about the situation. So the best is just to acknowledge. And you might say, yeah, I can see that you want to play the same pieces. And don't say anything. Don't say, and therefore you can or therefore you can't. I can see that you want to do it. You might add a word that says, and I know that one day you'll be able to do it. I don't know when, but in order to get there as soon as best as you can, let me help you to achieve this technique or this skill, and so on. So not trying to avoid the subject, but also not trying to cover up for the subject. What we adults do many times, it goes for parents and teachers of all sorts and subjects. What we're trying to do is almost like to make up for the child, or to compensate for the child, to compensate the child, or to cover up, or to deny, or to pretend. And by doing all these things, we are not actually serving the child. And definitely the soul of the child feels that I'm actually alone here. So just being together and acknowledging and helping the child to get to this place is the best service you, the teacher, can do for your student. And we know that sooner or later, hopefully sooner, this girl, student A, will be able to play book 3 pieces with very good manners of teaching. So good luck. And if you have any more questions, feel free to send them.